Hey everyone, there is such a fascinating melodrama unfolding today. Independent media. It's been unfolding for a few weeks and I've been watching it and I guess covering it. I'm so fascinated by it. I love what's happening with the media now. Yeah, we've been in disarray. I've been a journalist. I have a graduate degree in journalism. I've worked for newspapers like the Arizona Republic. I've written for the Los Angeles Times, reported for Shape, Self, all sorts of magazines. I write for the Good Men Project. My newest book is Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins. My one of my kids is a reporter in Loveland at the Reporter Herald, or the Herald Reporter, excuse me, Loveland, Colorado. So we are a journalistic family. And what I love now about the new media is just the way it has splintered. The corporate media, I don't watch it as much anymore. It's boring because it's always the same talking heads. But what we're getting from this splintered independent media are all sorts of experts, folks who used to be on the corporate media. We're getting really good on the scene reporting. Go to Midas Touch to get your on the scene reporting from Minneapolis. We're really seeing what happens unfold. Don Lemon is doing a great job today in Minneapolis. Status Quo is working with Midas Touch to bring us this. I subscribe to these outlets. They're really important. This is the new media. It's going to be harder to shut us up. We have less to lose because we're not as well endowed financially as corporate media. And we don't toe the line to anybody but the truth and the facts. So what's happening right now in this mix is I'm going to name you the characters. There's the Midas Touch, there's Michael Cohen, there's Lev Parnas, Dean Blundell, and Wajid Ali. And I hope I got everyone's name right. If I didn't, excuse me, correct me. What's happening now is everyone is focusing on Michael Cohen. And Michael Cohen, if you don't know, and you probably do, worked for Donald Trump for like a decade and a half, all the way through 2019 until the Stormy Daniels cover-up came out and he was arrested and convicted and served time in Otisville and other prisons. He was working for Trump for a long time, and I don't get that, okay? I wouldn't be around Trump. I wouldn't work for him, be near him, trust him. Not now, not 10 years ago. We all knew who he is. I mean, it's no secret. So that immediately causes Cohen to be suspect just because of his past. Now, we all know about the Epstein files, and Cohen, as Trump's attorney and quote, fixer, unquote, had to deal with something related to the Epstein files. There was a case, we're calling it the Katie Johnson case. I think it started in California, and it morphed into a case in New York State. And Katie Johnson is a pseudonym for a Jane Doe, a victim of Epstein. This was a 13-year-old who claimed that Epstein and Trump had both sexually abused her. I'm not sure of the correct term specifically, but it sounded really bad. And Trump told Epstein, he said, oh, this case is bullshit. Now, coming from Trump, what else do you expect? Everything is a fake. So when he says that, who believes him? But apparently Epstein did, because Epstein has been accused now of hiding what he knows about the Epstein case. Cohen has been accused now of hiding what he knows about the Epstein case. And by that, I mean, he was interviewed by Tara Palmieri not so long, a great independent journalist working with Dean Blundell and Lev Parnas. And I won't use her name now only because I want to get it right and I don't have it exact. Her team was going through the Epstein files that had been released, and they found a memo saying that Epstein had proffered information, an FBI memo that Cohen had proffered into the government to have his sentence reduced or even get out of jail free card. This is called a Rule 35, where if you give the government enough dirt on someone else and it's valuable, you can get your sentence reduced for giving them the dirt. On the one hand, you have Epstein, excuse me for getting Cohen and Epstein mixed up, okay? It's like Iran and Iraq and George W. Bush, okay? Sorry about that. Cohen told Tara Palmieri on her show, as I mentioned, that Trump told him it was bullshit. But if it's all bullshit, why then did he proffer as very important information under Rule 35 in order to get his sentence reduced? So something's not right here. And I think these folks are looking at more notes from the Epstein files about Cohen. But yesterday I was listening to Lev, Wajid Ali, and Dean Blundell, and they were just excoriating Cohen. Parnas said, don't subscribe to him anymore. And one of the things about Epstein, when you listen to him, is between Epstein and Parnas, Epstein is reporting all the scuttlebutt that we hear on the news and the internet. But Parnas has really good inside sources still. Now he was MAGA too, so he's suspect in my mind as well. So, I'm not taking sides here. I'm just enjoying melodramatic, this melodrama here among the independent media pundits and reporters. But Parnas does bring really good inside information. Cohen doesn't do that. He's really been cut off. But apparently, Cohen is now claiming that Letitia James and the district attorney for New York at the time Letitia James is the attorney general for New York, were pressuring him to turn on Trump. It's as if he is trying to get into Trump's good graces again, maybe even get a pardon, and maybe even rejoin the MAGA crowd. Because why would you sacrifice all this mea culpa? I've admitted my faults, my misdeeds, and then go back to it unless you were just, conning people. And that's where they're at with Michael Cohen. Is he a big con? And I bring this up because I do listen to him, although I find him a little bit, he's very self-centered. He's like Trump that way. And don't forget, he worked with Trump. He was second to Trump. He was like the president of Trump's beauty pageants too. So, that's probably where, if there was some abuse going on, sexual abuse of girls, not women, young girls, it could have been in these beauty pageants. And Cohen was involved with those too. So what we have now is Parnas, Blondell, and Wajid Ali turning on Michael Cohen. Now, Michael is a regular on Midas Touch, and this puts Midas Touch in an interesting position. The leader of Midas Touch is Ben Meiselas, and I don't understand why all these other podcasts have a difficult time saying Meiselas, okay? I listen to some of the other podcasters, like I think Keith Edwards, for example. They never get the name right. Ben Meiselas. It's easy, okay? And Ben's out here in Los Angeles. He's an attorney, and he seems like a really upright fellow. Being an attorney puts a lot of pressure on you to behave correctly, okay? And I think he's a straight shooter from what I've seen and read. I also think he's a terrific reporter. He brings the receipts, and he scours the internet. He gets a lot of good reporting on his shows. I do listen to them. But now that he's got Michael Cohen in this position, what's he going to do? Because if Michael is not being forthcoming about his involvement with the Epstein files and with at least one of the Epstein victims, that's a tank. That's a rotten apple on the Midas Touch. Now, as a reporter, you deal with all sorts of people. I've dealt with child molesters, incest survivors, murderers. You deal with everyone because that's your job. But this is a little different. This is called platforming. And right now, Midas Touch is platforming Michael Cohen. And Michael seems obsessed with his getting 1 million subscribers. I think he just passed the 500,000 mark. Congratulations. And if you'd like to subscribe to this podcast, I'm at 699 subscribers. So one more would be 700. You will make me a member of the 700. Do it. I appreciate it. David Steinman _author. But now Midas Touch has a big decision to make. Do we hang on with Michael? How do we clear this up? It's going to need to be cleared up. There are too many questions. Cohen's stories are inconsistent. They don't add up. Ali, Blondell, and Parnas have brought up really strong points. They are attacking Cohen, and it's very interesting. It's bringing a lot of drama and interest to independent media. So I'm not going to judge this now. I'm going to watch it play out and enjoy it. If you want to learn more, subscribe to my podcast, David Steinman _author. And as you know, I am an author, and I write on the health and the environment. But believe me, a healthy nation demands a democracy. And so I'm vitally interested in our politics and our progress as a democratic nation, living up to its highest aspirations and ideals. You can get my new book, Raising Healthy Kids, Protecting Your Children from Hidden Chemical Toxins, at Amazon.com, or use the link in this post. And again, you can subscribe to my podcast, YouTube podcast, at David Steinman _author. Listen, I hope everything is good. We've got a long ways to go during this regime. I don't know what's going to happen. Every day is new. Keep the faith. Take care of your health. Love your kids. Love your partner. Love your neighbors. Be kind.